Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As you heard, I'm one of the men more commonly known as the Birmingham Six. And I spent 17 years of my life in prison for something that I knew absolutely nothing about. And before I go any further, just let me clear up my background. I come from a very, very heavy British military family. My father served 30 years in the British Army. My father was the unarmed combat and weapons instructor at Henry Place down at Carlisle Circus for 15 years after the war. When he came out in November 1959, my older brother joined his regiment, and my older brother done 28 years. He came out of the British Army in 1987. I have another young brother who served 12 years with the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment, and I have another young brother who was in the Green Jackets. All my uncles and cousins are all British military, and I'm very proud of it. When I got out of prison, I promised the people in jail in 1991, other innocent people, that I would spend the first 12 months of my life campaigning for them. That's what I intended to do. I only intended to campaign for 12 months. But unfortunately, after I got out, I got involved with the families. And it was because of the families that I'm still doing today what I started 21 years ago. I never realised what my family went through until I met other families that were going through the same thing. Of course, when you go into prison, your families and yourselves become very, very detached and very estranged because you're sitting there telling each other lies. Well, my family used to come and visit me in prison, used to ask me how I was doing. They used to say, "Oh, don't worry, everything's great." How in the name of God can anything be great when you're serving 21 life sentences for nothing? Anyway, MOJO, when I came out, I didn't even know what I was doing. But I had the help of a good crew, and we set up the Miscarriage of Justice Organisation to help other innocent people, and most important of all, to get them the help which they can't get from the system. Once the system convicts you, irrespective of your innocence or guilt, that is it. The system washes its hands off you, particularly innocent people. Of course, the solicitors, most of them just walk away and leave you after you've been convicted and your first appeal is dismissed. And then it's a hard job to get someone. And of course, we've been very, very fortunate. In our organisation, we are non-sectarian, we are non-political, and we are no matter what religion you belong to or anything else, what your background is, we don't care. We only have one criteria in the Miscarriage of Justice Organisation, and that is that you are innocent. And if we investigate a case and if we believe that you are not innocent, we get rid of you immediately and we tell you why. We are right up front with everyone. We are very fortunate in the fact that over the last 20 years we have built up a great rapport with not only solicitors, but also with pathologists, with people in the forensic world who do a hell of a lot of work to help us. When we get cases, we don't just jump into bed with people because they say they're innocent. The first thing we ask them to do is to provide us with all the paperwork that they have and to give us authorisation to get all the paperwork from their solicitors and anyone else who represents them. And then we investigate the case. Any problems that we have with forensics or pathologists, we're very fortunate that we can go to people and ask them to do work for us pro bono. In fact, most of them don't even ask for money. They do it for nothing, just to help us along, and if there is something wrong, they will guide us and provide the help and expertise which is badly needed. Unfortunately, there's so many innocent people today in prison. In fact, I would say there's a hell of a lot more people in jail today than there was 20 odd years ago. And that was something that I forecasted when I came out. I said when I came out that the trend that I had seen in prison was that if it was to continue, the only two things you were guaranteed was that one, the prison population was going to rise. And of course, when I came out of prison, the prison population in the UK was only 39,000. Today, it's over 90,000. When I left prison, I would say it was about 250 to 300 innocent people that I heard of, and a lot of them that I knew. Today, it's more like 2,000 to 3,000 innocent people that are locked up in the UK and here today. They need all the help they can get. It's not, we're in Scotland based, and I'm very proud to say that about 70% of the support that we have in Glasgow comes from Ranger supporters, and I'm very, very proud of that. We have managed to cross the divide in Scotland, and one of the things that we have to do here today is to make sure that once again we cross that divide. Injustices, human rights, it's not about Catholic human rights, it's not about Protestant human rights, it's about everyone's human rights. We should all stand together, because what they take away from one, they will end up taking away from all of us. This is what is happening. Our basic rights are being taken away and being eroded more and more and more each year. Government is bringing in more and more legislation, and they criminalise everyone. Our young people are going to jail, and the police are very happy to get it, because nowadays the prison system is mainly dependent on the revolving door, because nowadays there is more and more private prisons being built, and the private prisons only require one thing: people coming in and out the door. So you have to get people in irrespective of innocence or guilt. Today, we want to set up, I've been asked to come over here to speak, to help set up an organisation, something along the same lines that we have in Scotland, called Justice Watch Ireland. Well, I hope that this first meeting, that today will be the groundwork, and that we will set something up here today, at least that we can set up the framework of how we move forward collectively. As one, I have no doubt that we will achieve our aims, but we have to stay focused on what it's about. It's only about human rights, and it's about innocence. And if we do that, I have no doubts whatsoever that we will make great inroads here, and by bringing both parties together of the divide that's here in Northern Ireland. It's a shame what is happening here. People are being isolated, and they're being left on their own. We have to stand together, because if we don't, remember the golden rule: united we stand, divided we will fall. And I have no doubt that the authorities love to see the people here in the north of Ireland at each other's throats, because while you are fighting with each other, you're not fighting for what you should be fighting for: decent homes, jobs, schools, and a good future for your children. So that is one thing that we have to do. We have to stand together. So let's hope that this meeting goes well today, and that all parties will get involved, and that we will stand together and we will achieve our aims. Thank you very much.